the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Bob Garrett and Melissa White of Yevo Foods. And we've talked about breakfast, oatmeal, and different flavors of oatmeal. The cinnamon raisin is the one I love, the oatmeal now. But I also like cream of wheat. Have you come out with any of that yet?
We have not come out with a cream of wheat, but we do have a breakfast rice cereal that's very tasty as well.
Maybe similar to cream of wheat.
Maybe similar.
But
a little bit.
cream of wheat is wheat.
This
Oatmeal
rice.
is.
Yeah.
It's rice.
Oats.
This is rice
Oats.
based.
This is rose.
Oats.
Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Rice.
all right.
you know, but you can still put cinnamon on it and
Oh,
bananas
yes.
in it and
Oh,
yes.
yes.
in it and
Cinnamons,
sure it's,
bananas, raisins.
yeah, that's
everything.
That'd be my
palatable.
favorite.
Yes, even pears. Oh, I
Why
love
not?
pears.
Why not?
And strawberries, yes. Now, what kinds of lunches and dinners do you have? I'm trying to picture if you're having salmon and some potatoes and a green vegetable.
You sound like you're hungry.
No, I'm not. I
She's
just
making
got through
everyone
eating
hungry.
brunch. How would you package a meal like that? And you have to add water to it?
Right now, we have not been privy to the full extent of the menus. I can tell you some of the items that will be coming out. We have a macaroni and cheese that you can imagine how that would be packaged and formed. We also
Have mashed potatoes, pizza.
Alfredo sauce.
Alfredo
Some
sauce.
of our ingredients are to be used to make full meals, as you would make a spaghetti dinner. It may not come with all the ingredients, but it comes with what you need to make that meal healthy.
But healthy,
With the
because
nutrients.
everybody will say healthy, but you know,
Right.
when we talk about
No.
purchasing 400 farms,
Mm-hmm.
making them non-GMO and making the produce that comes out from there brought to the market, because that's where we shop all the time at
Right.
places where we're worried about all the additives that are going into the foods and, you know, maintaining the nutritional value but not getting all the rest of the stuff that comes along with it.
That's very true, very true. So by us being able to dehydrate the food right away, it keeps the nutrients packed in. Once they sit on the grocer's shelf for 5 days, all the nutrients have basically diminished from that when we're talking about fruits and vegetables. So it's very important to get them, dehydrate them so that it retains the value, the nutrients. So when you do add the hot wire to them, all the nutrients are still packed within that meal.
But, you know, that's pretty good also. I mean, we're an earthquake country here.
Absolutely.
And, of course, if you have packages of food there where you only have to add hot water, you know, that could be really helpful in getting you through times where, you know, here, this valley in 1994, you remember, Barbara, we didn't have access to anywhere else. We were stuck here. The freeways were down. And, you know, they tell you nowadays that, you know, to store things in case, water and, you know, canned goods, which,
Canned
you know,
goods,
yeah,
right.
so, you know, you're going to be starving and looking at the can and saying, should I, you know, open this can up and get some nutrition, but yet maybe get polluted by it as well.
Yeah, I actually brought up that same topic on our last radio show. And our food, also, our meals have a 3-year shelf life.
Oh, wonderful.
So that's really important, like you said, in times of crisis like that.
The owner, Peter Castleman's vision is to be able to get this food out to the world, because there are a lot of, as you know,
Yeah.
poverty-stricken places that could really benefit from this. So his vision isn't necessarily, you know, here in the United States, but all over the world, to be able to help the malnutrition.
Well, how did this get started? You're mentioning Peter Castleman?
Right.
Castleman?
Yeah, if you allow me, I'd love to talk
Yes,
a little bit
please.
about that.
We'd like to know.
Peter Castleman is a very successful businessman. He's a multi-billionaire, And he's made his money from several different sources. 11 companies he took to become $1 billion company. He took Herbalife over when it was having issues. Their owner had actually passed away. He took it over and took it from a $2 million company to a $2 billion company. Some of the other companies he owns are North Face, Igloo, Crab Shack, Macaroni Grill, North Face. So he's really done quite well, and he wanted to leave a mark in the world. He wanted his name to represent something. He wanted to spend his money on something that was good for the planet, and that's why he's doing this. He teamed up with a nutritionist that has just as long a history, and I know we don't have enough time to talk about that. His name is Chip Marshall. He developed food for the big box companies, and you really saw what he was putting into this company as being food that was not good for the environment. It's not good for the people. What they were asking him to do with these foods, he disagreed with. So over his 25-year career, he decided he wanted also to make a mark. So the two of them teamed up and put this product together 2 years ago, and now it's coming to vision, as we mentioned, February 1st.
And then 2 months later, we actually will be launching in Mexico. So our company is technically Yevo International, and that's what we will eventually become, is an international company and be serving our meals and food in all the different countries. So we're really
wow.
excited. Yeah.
That's exciting. We need to take another break, don't we? I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Senior Hour, I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Bob Garrett and Melissa White of Yevo Foods. Now, how did the two of you get involved in this project or business?
Well, actually, Dustin Perrin, he actually lives here in Valencia. He had worked with one of the board members previously in another business and had great success. So when they were looking to launch Yevo as an MLM, they wanted to obviously go to people that they had worked with before and had done well, and they knew how they handled their business. So they approached Dustin, and they flew him up to headquarters and met with him and went over everything. And so they signed him up as the top initial 10 people to start with the company. And then I've known Dustin for a few years now, and he knew my interest in health and wellness, as well as have a background in sales too. So he approached me about coming on board and being part of his team. And then I had met Bob and Shelley recently, and they were looking to get into an MLM, and then just the whole aspect of being able to eat healthier, and then also have the opportunity to share that with other people and make an extra income was kind of a no-brainer for them. So that's how it all came together.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And isn't this like, though, a trend? I mean, not just health, but understanding what we're eating,
Yes.
getting that education. I mean, when I go to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's, I mean, I stand in the aisles and I'm running into people because they're reading the containers, what's in them. And I think all of us will do this eventually, but this trend that we're starting to see with assuring that we're taking in the right food, not just as seniors, but also as for our children, because we don't know that impact. I do think a lot of the problems that we have today medically stem from what we have put in our mouth and how the preservatives and the fertilizers and a lot of pollution and things like that have gotten into the food supply, and we're ingesting that, and I think it's getting into our body. And it's wreaking havoc on us at this point.
In fact, once, if you do go online and you Google Yevo International, you can actually see several different videos about Yevo and a lot of our research. And Chip Marsland, who was mentioned earlier, who's a food engineer, his background as well. He had a mother that had a rare disease, and it could be genetic, and he wanted to make sure that if there was any way he could help his mother, as well as him not ever to have the disease as as he ages, and he now has linked everything pretty much to the diet and food and what we ingest, and just seeing everything that, like you said, that they're putting in the food now to make everyone unhealthy. So
And the best part is we're extracting it out now.
Right.
Well, let's say that we're keeping it from getting into
Right.
our food and not intentionally beautifying the food to make it look pretty or
Right,
grow
exactly,
bigger.
yeah.
And, same with the
Food
cows and the
coloring,
meats
yeah.
and everything else. All this stuff that we have done
Steroids,
to just make it look palatable. Because we've talked about, I drink Gatorade. And, Barb is really against that. But
no.
But I've had it for a great part of my life. But the fact is, what I don't like about it is the food coloring. And I've written to Gatorade, take the food coloring out. But,
Right.
their response has always been, well, if it looks like it's purple and it's supposed to taste like grape, it enhances the brain and how you think and
That's
that
very
taste.
true.
And that's what it does. And I just think that, I'm trying to close my eyes when I drink these things now, so I'm not seeing the color at all. And my hope is that one day we will let things look natural and not really jump on
think
this
we're coming to that.
craze that let's keep the stuff out of it. And I think in the long run we'll be healthier.
Well, it's interesting. I've never been in Whole Foods, but I love Trader Joe's. I mean, it's fascinating to walk up and down the aisles and see. They always seem to have something new in there, and it's fascinating to pluck it off the shelf and read it and see what it's all about and put it in the basket and take it home.
it is fun. I agree with you,
It
especially
is.
during the holidays. All the
Oh, Trader Joe's, I
pumpkin this,
love.
pumpkin
But
that.
Yevo Foods, Yevo International Foods could be a place that Trader Joe's and Whole Foods would probably be
their
interested.
products. Yes.
The clientele that goes to these stores would be interested. And
Yes.
when you have to find a market, I mean, to me, that's where I'd be trying to put my foods, because that's to
And
me.
they're not a health food store. It's Trader Joe's.
Well, it is
You
a
know.
help to me.
Yeah,
It's,
but you don't
It's less polluted
think
food.
of it as a health food store.
And I do. I honestly.
do?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
I look at it
Interesting.
as a health food store. They're watching very carefully what they put in, and they
Oh, yes,
they
they
yank
do. Mm-hmm.
things off the shelf if they find that's been contaminated, or not contaminated, but things are in it that all of a sudden is saying you shouldn't have this in your body. So they're really good about it. Whole Foods, of course, is really good about it. Go, Barb, to
I've
Whole
never
Foods.
been to Whole Foods.
Yeah,
Never.
you people there are always reading, and they have little signs up, and it's a little education we get when you can't always be in the journals and watching television or picking it up in the newspapers or periodicals. We can't do that all the time, but they have these little spiels on stuff, and it makes it pretty interesting. Sometimes you could sit there with your cell phone and look these things
Look
up
them
as
up
well.
on the phone. Yeah. Well, now is Yevo Foods or Yevo International interested in opening individual stores like Trader Joe's?
I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Is there's new legislation out right now for multi-level marketing companies that they actually have to sell the food to the retail. They can't just make it a business.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting? Because there was really a lot of bad things
Wonder who
going
wrote
in
that.
in the multi-level marketing where people just storing food in their as consultants in their garage. So legislation wanted to make sure that whatever the product was actually getting to the people. So a big part of it will be selling to retail through the consultants, though.
Isn't that interesting? So
Mm-hmm.
the possibility is that you will be selling to Whole Foods.
There's
Or a
possibi-
Trader Joe's.
Right. I would think.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Need to take another break. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.